A Great Hero, a short story written by Bpuprety. Mr. Patrick grew up in an aristocratic family surrounded by luxury. He had a fair complexion with a mole on his right cheek almost the size of a fingerprint. He was taller and heavier than anyone in his family, possibly due to his uncontrolled eating habits or lack of exercise. Unfortunately, he was often ridiculed with the nickname, Lazy Bone, which infuriated him on several occasions. Mr. Patrick was not the sharpest intellectually, but he possessed a rigid and stubborn nature. As time went on, his obesity became a cause for concern among those who cared for him. He was still in his late teens, far too young to bear such a burden. He had a long journey ahead, but a sense of darkness clouded his youth, pushing his future towards uncertainty. His weight problem had reached a critical point, and the only remaining option for him to lose weight was through immediate surgical treatment. Thus Mr. Patrick was taken to the hospital, where he lay motionless on the bed. He appeared as if a butcher had served several goats and stacked their flesh for sale. Despite his physical state, his brain functioned well. He could hear people talking and even the whispers of the doctors. "His condition is deteriorating," one doctor muttered with a tone of pessimism. Another doctor checked his pulse and turned to his colleague, expressing a sense of hopelessness. The doctor's body language conveyed the message that the patient had passed away. Mr. Patrick's ears were more attentive than ever. He couldn't believe what he was hearing and said to himself, "How could the doctors declare me dead? He's no longer with USWE, or sorry, but we couldn't save your son's life," one of the doctors informed his father in the waiting room. Mr. Patrick's father, filled with anguish, repeated asked the same question to the entire team of doctors. "What are you saying?" "He's medically dead, take the body for cremation," the entire team responded in unison. Suddenly everything changed. Equals 0.4s greater than the hospital was filled with agony, and the sound of mourning echoed from every corner. "I can hear everything. How could they declare me dead?" Mr. Patrick repeated the same sentences again and again. "Perhaps the human body and the soul are two separate entities. Perhaps my soul is aware of everything around me, while my body is medically dead." The young boy recalled the words from a scripture he had read a month ago. He attempted to open his eyes, but the more he tried, the more he failed. He made an effort to move his limbs and his head, but all in vain. Miraculously, everything changed once again. Mr. Patrick began to breathe normally. Slowly, he managed to open his eyes, which had been glued shut, and sat up in bed as if nothing had happened. He looked at the mourners, who were filled with tears. He had never seen so many relatives, friends, and neighbors gathered in one place. He smiled surprisingly at the mourners, causing his parents to leap from their seats and embrace him. Tears of joy streamed down their faces. "He's alive," they shouted in unison. The doctors, who had previously declared him dead, expressed their disbelief. "It's impossible. It's a miracle." Clear and unclear voices filled the room. Mr. Patrick breathed normally, and every part of his body functioned marvelously. His eyes could see perfectly, and his ears could hear the voices of his loved ones. It was the happiest moment of his life. For the first time, Patrick realized how precious it was to be alive and to be loved by those close to him. Filled with newfound energy, he jumped out of bed, shouting in excitement, "I'm alive! I'm alive!" He embraced his loved ones with overflowing emotion. That sad moment and near-death experience transformed his attitude, that he learned to celebrate everything around him. He had faith and belief in himself. Nobody needed to instruct him on what to do or what not to do. His dormant inner intelligence surprised everyone. It wasn't that he had become a different person. It was the result of his self-realization of his inner power and unlocked potential, akin to great personalities throughout human history. No difficulty, obstacle, or trouble could hinder his path because he had mastered the art of being alive. As time passed, his faith and belief acted as an ointment, eliminating all germs of negativity and fostering a sense of optimism. He cultivated confidence by dissolving deeply embedded feelings of inferiority. Through determination and hard work, he transformed his obesity into a sportive, muscular physique. His dumbness vanished, and he achieved his goals well before the deadlines. He became the nation's most popular and successful leader, living a life of dignity. When he eventually passed away, the entire nation mourned. His name was etched in golden letters in the hearts of all, a true hero.